Shakii-shii, or the former Shakii-shii shadow. Recently I talked about making tutorials, and this is going to be my not so professional tutorial, I guess, on anatomy. Okay, I'm going to stop patronizing everyone now, and I'm going to get to drawing. It's not really easy to cover the basics on anatomy, because sometimes it's hard to grasp, especially when you make different kinds, because there aren't ever set rules. Like, someone could have very distorted anatomy compared to the average, or like a character. So first we start with the head. I'm going to start with males because that's my strong point. I'll probably make another video for females if you guys want one. Like, I'm not one to update my YouTube account. I haven't done it in forever. I just don't really see the point, since no one really ever used my YouTube stuff. But okay, so one thing I always learned with facial anatomy is that for me it just works best to put the nose almost right in the basic middle. Like, let's say this is the middle here, because you always want to leave enough space to put your mouth. Because let's say, like, I never really plan out what expression they'll have on their face when I'm drawing a character. So let's say they'll have like this sort of surprise-ish mouth. Eyes, they're always like the same distance almost. This is basic stuff. Like, you learn this in every art class, I assume. They're supposed to teach you this stuff. I like to make my eyes, like, not like this, or I wouldn't say I go all anime with them. I just kind of developed my own style after influencing my art on a lot of manga, so finding your own style is really important. So eyes, it's up to you. I like them to be like this. Hair follows your head. So let's say that this is the back of the head right here. Oh, okay, that looks stupid. We still have to take his face in consideration. He's facing this way. That's the top of his head right there. So you're gonna want to make his hair follow that base. Just, you want to make it go a little higher, I suppose that's what I'd say. See, this is his head, like the top of his head's right here. You want to go a little over that, you know, because hair isn't completely flat. It's really rare for hair to be flat. I wish mine was flat, but it's not. And unless I straighten it like for an hour, it just doesn't listen. So I'm gonna start drawing in red because I feel like it. I don't know why I did that. Eraser tools help all the time. Gotta love them. Don't use white. It's like basic beginner stuff, because your other layers will be screwed if you use white. Okay, let's say he has like this really ridiculous hairstyle. I don't know where I've seen this before. It's probably off of some character somewhere. I'm influenced by too many things I don't remember anymore. We have a head. Oh my goodness. I'm so terrible at explaining how I got here to this point. But I always start with a cross, which his eyes will most likely be where this cross is. Then his nose will probably be here, and then I'll probably put my chin in, like, leave about a nose worth of space, because, like, nose length space. See how stupid I must sound? But, that's the basics. I know some people don't, sometimes they make faces like this. That's more anime, that's okay. I do that with, like, my chibi style. Like, I have a really, really chibi style, which is like this. Okay, well, it's not that creepy, but I assume it's the same basic principle. Like, you have the head, okay? You can make him smile, yay. And here, I'll allow myself to draw really anime eyes. And you know what? Look, same basis. You have one eye here, you have an eye distance, and then you have another eye. And you just follow that. It always follows through. Like, it almost always looks good when you do the eye in between. Here, I'll show you without the stupid circle thing. And add a nose and some hair. See, there we go. He looks like a person. That's cute. See, if you rather make faces like this, it really doesn't matter. Like, it's up to you. But I'm gonna show you my more, like, bishy style. Wait, he needs eyelashes. Bishy style of anime. So now we have a floating head. Floating heads are always fun. Floating. Sorry, I'm cold. You can get his basic features down. So, everyone has a neck. Necks are hard to define. Really, like, some people have longer necks, some people have shorter necks, but normally, necks are the size of that place between your shoulder and your neck. It's funny the way it works, but I've kind of figured that out over the years. It just looks better that way, so that it doesn't look like he's a total creeper with really long shoulders. So, here, with girls, it's really different, and I'll cover that, like, in another video if I get enough responses, but, here, with girls, they're a lot closer together, and they're a lot smaller. And, then you have this, like, really nice neck, and, like, really small shoulders that curve a lot. Like, these, they're a lot more muscular. You see, they have, like, this flow to them. And you have, like, this basic, it's almost like a square. Your shoulder is like a square with men. Some of them are round. I'd recommend doing that with younger men. But it's very feminine to have, like, small, round shoulders. So, let's get rid of that. Yeah, this is gonna be really messy. I hope you guys can keep up, because this is just how I roll. That's not true. Sometimes I'm really neat. Depends on my mood. Okay, so you have the shoulders down. Now, here's where the crosses and the circles are really gonna come through. Right under your head, you're gonna want, like, an appropriate sized cross. Why and what size? I'm not gonna be very helpful with this, but it's up to you. You really have to envision what size your man's gonna be. Like, normally, I naturally basically just make it 2 heads high. You know what I mean? 2 heads. And then, about 2 heads wide for the cross. And what happens is you're gonna want to make an X here. And that's your guideline for your biceps. Or, I think that's what it's called. Let's just call them man boobs, because that's way easier for me to remember. And it's gonna follow this X, you see? And then you're gonna put a line here, and where your ears would be, let's say his ears would be here, go downwards, and that's where his nipple is gonna be. Trust me, it works every single time. My friend taught me that, and it does. So here, there's the rib cage. So you're gonna have like a curve most of the time. Depends how much meat you have. Like if you're really skinny, it's gonna go in like this, and then you're gonna have your hips, and you just connect it together, and there. Well, it's not gonna look that ugly. But if you're not that skinny, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to have like this curve, and you're gonna want your skin to be a little thicker than your pelvis. Like you want to add some meat on there, right? Oh goodness, this looks butchered. Normally, in the middle, that's where you'll find your joint for your elbow. Almost said something else. Okay. So your elbow, it's always around here. It can be here, but it's still gonna be the basic length of here. You understand? It can't stretch. It won't stretch out over here or here, unless you have like this whole perspective thing where his arms and back, and then your forearm's gonna be the same length. However, it does not get longer. No. Like I think you understand my point here. Let's just make him. This is my favorite basic position, is someone with their hand on their hip, being all like, what you doing here? Actually, let's do that. What you doing here? I'm Canadian. I don't know why I have this accent in here. There. Now it's Canadian. So basically, someone's arms is really easy. If you're buff, you'll have like this sort of thickness here. You'll have a bump. It's basically just like it says in the cartoon. You just have to make it look pretty. Like, just add a bump. Here in the forearm, it's simple. You have this part of the arm. There's always a bump here. That's the muscle. Okay. Here's the wrist. Normally, you have like, I don't know. Let's close up here. Let's zoom in. This part here, there's always a bump here. And I think it's on the outside. But my style, I put it on the inside. There. It's there. That's the bump. Wrist. Bump. And that's always there. Like, you don't have to put it in your style if you don't want to. Hands, don't even get me covered on hands. Okay, like, don't even get me started. I'm sorry. I had a drink or something. Hands, they're fun. If you don't like drawing hands, then you're gonna think drawing's a bitch sometimes. But basically, just look at your own hand as reference. Like, obviously, your fingers aren't French fries. These are French fries. These aren't fingers. Fingers have joints. They're beautiful. Like this. Actually, your thumb normally reaches here. my style is not normally this stylized, but I'm really trying to emphasize on joints, curve, movement, and your fingers won't always be stiff. They're not always going to be just rectangular. You have to add a few curves that make no sense sometimes. It's stylized though, so it's all up to you. You decide. Normally there's just this line here is to show that that's the rib cage. See? Rib, rib, end of rib. Stomach area. Wow, this guy's... I'm drawing all over this poor fellow. It's... Here. I'm gonna clean him up. Okay. And now we're gonna start on his lower half. Now, I'm not really one to draw the genitals. And I'm not gonna start now. You can figure that out on your own. Like, you have to go fishing for some pretty wicked references and have fun with that. This is why I don't dabble in this, because then you have files on your computer and your brother or someone goes on there to watch some Ray William Johnson videos or something, and they go through your files just because they want to see your art, and then all of a sudden they find your references, and then your parents get involved, and it's all fun. This actually didn't happen to me yet. I'm very happy, but don't, this is a warning for you people. There are drawbacks if you live in a family. If you live alone, like, I don't even know. I'm not gonna condone any of it. Like, it's still technically pictures. Anyway, on with the real subject, which is anatomy. We finally have a chest. I'm always really screwy with legs. Like, sometimes I'll have a really good grasp on them, and sometimes I won't. It all depends. I know men don't have as much of a gap in their legs, but this is basically part of style. Style plays a huge part in art, and someone would probably shoot me because they're like, a lot of people don't have their own style, and I'm not against that. You're just gonna have a really hard time deciding how to draw shit, and good luck with that. You can try to draw like me, but I can't guarantee it's gonna work. Well, this is fun. You can tell I'm not used to talking to a lot of people. So, your forearm is roughly, your hands normally reach here. If your knee is here and your hand reaches your knee, either your leg is too short or your arms are too long, or you might have screwed up your chest. I don't know. You just have to check. That means you go over every step until you figure out what happened. Sometimes I get those. That's why sometimes it's really nice to just switch or invert your canvas, just so you can check from a different point of view what your art looks like. Like, as you can see here, I'm not one to draw genitals, but this is just to sketch the legs outline. Then you add like the ruffles and pants that are caused by the junk, which is not where I'm gonna go in this conversation. So roughly this size. I absolutely do not know what those are actually called in English because I'm French. These are called des cuisses in French. And that's just a quick French lesson for you guys. most of you are probably going to be French watching this video, which is going to make me laugh. That's just my luck, though. It's not your fault. So, I don't know where I'm going to put his legs. I guess I'm just going to put them like that. Usually the legs here, the length really depends on you. Some races, they're longer than the upper legs, or some races they're shorter, some races they're the same, some anatomy people, I don't know. It really, I just like making them the same basic length. And feet. Oh goodness. I see so many people having such a hard time with feet, and I don't really understand, because you just have to get the basic shape in your head of feet. First you have to, I recommend zooming out for this, because you never really want to do everything from up close. The reason with that is that if you put a really small foot on a large character, what that's gonna do is he's gonna look malformed. I don't know, because everything's even. Like his chest's even, he has a pec the size of his face, his hands are theoretically the size of his face, his knee is about the size of, yeah. So I recommend keeping that kind of flow. So I'm going to make his foot about the size of his hand, or a little bigger, like the base of his foot. There's a circle here. There's the ankle, like a mini snowman. And then feet, they're like this, okay? You have a circle here. Your heel is going to follow this circle. Then you want to, the line here always gives people a hard time. And the reason with that, I have no idea. Don't ask me. It's just not that difficult. You want something, pretend that you have a pole here. Yep, this is a pole. Right here, there's a pole. That's your leg. This is your leg. That's your heel. Here's your pole. Pretend that there's a point right here, and you have this piece of material that you attach to the top of the pole and you bring down. That's your basic shape. That is what you want in your foot. That's a basic, like, so after you have that, there's like this soap bar section. You just want to go around the soap bar section again, and then you'll have your toes. That's how you draw a foot. I'm terrible at explaining things, but hopefully it gives you like the gist of the anatomy of a foot. Like, I'm not telling you that all feet are not like this. I mean, like, some people have different feet, and I have nothing against their feet. I mean, I'm trying to be funny, but I'm not. Normally, you can draw the toes however you want. I like to draw them in this position because I always do that. I like painting toenails even if they're men, because it's easier to distinguish them when they're dark. So people can actually see them in your drawing and distinguish that they are in fact toenails. Otherwise, you might just look like you have a clusterfuck of, oh, I'm sorry, I swore, a lot of random shapes that are like this. And some people can't differentiate that from the rest of your picture, even if you have like really dark colored pants or light colored skin, like, so yeah, basically, we have a Banum. Oh, how long? This is gonna be pretty long. I'm not gonna cut in any of this, like, I'm not gonna cut anything out. So hopefully my babbling isn't too annoying to you guys. I know I couldn't have written all of this down. Writing stuff drives me crazy, unless it's a storyline for a comic book. But, yeah. Even though I probably sound really annoying, I hope that you guys got something out of this. And I really hope that you guys give me more suggestions for tutorials, because as long as you guys want them, I'll make them. I promise. I have nothing better to do with my life, I swear.